Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. This time we are back on Madden 25, continuing our 2012 franchise stream that we had, 4-hour video of. Again, this isn't, if you're watching and you don't have any idea what's going on, it's because this is mainly not for you, but besides the point. Um, just gonna hop right in. We are seeing here if any of the AFC South teams can make the Super Bowl finally or not. We left off with an Eagles-Browns Super Bowl somehow. We do have the 2021 draft class in, and of course, Panay Sewell doesn't have his first name because Panay is too much like penis, apparently. And yeah, that's all I got. But just gonna do the same stuff. So let's sim. I was gonna sim to the draft, but I do want to see what free agent moves are made by our AFC South teams here, if any. Now, my mic quality might be different because I am using my headset on Xbox, so I don't really have to do any super crazy lining up editing things. I just kind of want to have it all available so I can just cut it down a bit and then send it. I guess let's check out first the recap. We have Eagles winning 31-10 with RG3 once again as the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. But letting him walk from the Texans was maybe a big mistake, possibly. I mean, they won in 2030. They got to one in 2029. So they've had more success, for sure, than the Texans have. And I wonder how much of that is because of him versus not. Let's check the mock drafts. Mock draft 4. Right now, the Niners projected to take Trevor Lawrence at pick 1. J.C. Horn projected to go 2. Have a ton of really good players in this draft class. Alex at Leatherwood, nice. So right now, projection-wise, I guess we'll go by the entire AFC South. Jaguars projected to take Michael Parsons, who I will be changing to once it's after the draft to his actual position, which is an edge rusher now. Initially, he came into the draft as an off-ball linebacker, but who can have that flexibility of rushing, but he's kind of turned into not full-time, but a lot of the time he's lined up as an edge rusher. So that would be an interesting one. The Colts are projected to take Alex Leatherwood, who is a known bust in real life. And then the Titans are projected to take Eric Stokes, who's okay. And Kadarius Toney projected to go to the Texans, and he's a top 5 projected talent. That is interesting. Very interesting. But that's fine. Yeah, I mean, not much to say with that. Retirements. See, big names wise, we'll do AFC South first. No one. Cool. Well, AFC, or just in general, we see Eric Weddle retired, Josh Sitton, Cavell Connor, former Colt, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, former Colt retires as a Lion. Calvin retires way after he actually retires. Patrick Willis, same thing. James Laurinaitis, Devin McCourty, Eugene Monroe, former Jaguars left tackle, retiring with the Bears. Let's see what else. Any other players? Colin McCarthy, former Titans middle linebacker, retiring as a free agent. Derek Cox, former Jaguars corner, retiring as a free agent. Chris Krasinski, former Jaguars free safety, retiring as a free agent. Phillip Rivers retires as a free agent. Colin Kaepernick retires. Patrick Chung. Mario Williams, former Texans edge rusher, retiring as a free agent. A ton of guys retiring from the free agent pool here. Trying to see if any of these names really pop out to me here. John Harbaugh retires, apparently, and so does the Giants head coach and offensive coordinator. Very interesting. But moving on, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna go to the free agency recap period here. Again, we're letting everything happen, and Kareem Jackson was cut by the Texans during they're not bringing him back in the re-sign phase here. Now, the Jaguars are -8 in cap, so I don't think they're going to make any moves. Let's see where the other AFC teams are, AFC South teams. The Colts currently have about 24 mil in cap space. This is just before they have to pay 99 overall Odell Beckham. Insane. He is literally 99 in every passing, route running, and release. Like, that is that is absurd. He's also 99 ball carrier vision, carrying, break tackle. He is a monster. I don't know if I've ever seen a player sim to be that good, like that insane. But he has. But the Colts have a ton of guys they have to re-sign, actually. So we'll see if they retain them. I guess real quick, let's go back to the Jags. How many guys do they have to re-sign? Pat McAfee, probably not coming back. Obviously, Hassan Reddick's probably not coming back. Zay Jones, James Conner, David Sharp, Josh Malone. Those are all guys that are probably going to have to walk. It says they have 6 mil in cap space, so maybe they'll get some of them back, but we'll see. Going down to the Texans. They have about 18.5 mil to work with. Not a ton of important free agents to re-sign here, so they're doing all right in that regard. And the Titans have just under 10 mil. Jared Cook looks like he's probably going to hit free agency. Jake Locker. He's 33 at this point. He's an 85 overall. He might end up hitting free agency. Danny Shelton is the only other name really worth mentioning. But Jake Locker and Jared Cook are the two big ones where it's like those were staples of that Titans franchise to get them to the Super Bowl in our second season and win it, obviously. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. Are they going to... I mean, they're obviously not going to bring both back, but we'll see if either of them get picked up from a different team, or if they somehow manage to get both of them somehow magically. I don't know. Let's check out Mock Draft 5 real quick. See how things have changed. Zach Wilson projected to go number 2 like he did in real life, this time to the Chiefs. Oh, hello, DeWolf. If you hear that scratching in my back, it's in the background. That's my cat with her litter box. But to answer your question, who do the Texans, who are they projected to take? Well, let's see. First off, the Jaguars are projected to take Penei Sewell, so that's pretty cool. Um, Colts still on Leatherwood. That would be a mistake. Now in mock draft 4, the Wolf, they had the Texans taking Kadarius Toney, but he's gone up the board. So now they have you taking Gregory Rousseau. So that wouldn't be a bad pick. And then Eric Stokes still projected to go to the Titans. But, I mean, hey, we'll see how that actually plays out here. Damn, Ravens kind of loading up Marcus Williams and Cam Hayward. They got Unkfest over there. Just going to get to free agency recap. Wow. Miles Jack is a 99 overall 26-year-old. He's going to the Jets. That's very interesting. Jaguars signed nobody because they don't have any money. But at quarterback, Jake Locker, now going to the New York Giants, leaving Tennessee, where they won a Super Bowl and where he spent a majority of his career, obviously all of his career up to this point, but he's now going to be the starter, I'm assuming, for the Giants. Trubisky going to the Falcons, Josh Freeman to the Patriots, Geno Smith also to the Giants to be a backup for Jake. I do not want to trade for him. I don't want to interfere. I am like the Watcher from Marvel. I don't interfere. But, I mean, he's put up a ton of numbers, obviously. Although, to be honest, touchdown production-wise hasn't been there since those first 2 seasons. First 2 seasons were very high touchdown production. Ever since, he's put up no more than 28 touchdowns, and the interceptions did get better, and the completion percentage got better, but still. He lost out on the touchdowns and yardage. That's besides the point. Running back James Conner, no longer a Jaguar, going to the Bears. Looking for anyone interesting here. Any interesting names? Not really, but Ryan Williams going to Houston as a mentor running back on a 1-year deal. So that's not like a needle mover or anything, but it's fine, I guess. Anthony Sherman going to the Browns. Ryan Switzer leaves Tennessee, going to the Giants along with Jake Locker. That's a big deal, actually. Zay Jones leaving the Jags, going to Kansas City, maybe going to join Zach Wilson. Let's see. No one else really signed there. The Giants are kind of loading up. They got Amara Darboh, though, as well. Tight end, the only one signed was Adam Shaheen to the Broncos. Any interesting names here? Teron Armstead, now a Commander. But no one for the AFC South teams. Eben Britton, former Jaguars left guard, going to the Bears. And center. Just interesting that they have Sayamalu as a center. I guess he may have started there. Kyle Long going to the Ravens. Joe Tooney to the Giants. They must have had a ton of money to spend. Unlike our teams. Nate Solder to the Bears. They're gonna have a really good O-line now. At this point, you'd have to hope that's the case. David Sharp leaving the Jaguars, going to the Panthers. I believe he played there in real life, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I don't know. Left end, Tack McKinley, not actually a bust like real life, is going to the Bears. Danielle Hunter going to the Vikings, where he played in real life most of his career. Derek Barnett going to the Eagles, where he played and was drafted too. But nothing really there. Geno Atkins to the Rams is a big one. Malik McDowell, actually being a really good player, goes to the Vikings. Colts get Linval Joseph. I think they had him before. I can't remember for sure, but Linval, either way, going to the Colts. That's a nice signing there. Damn, Adrian Claiborne looks insanely good. He's going to the Chargers. Cam Hayward to the Ravens, as we said. Jerry Hughes, former Colts right end, going to Green Bay. Whitney Merciless, former Texan, going to the Bills. And damn, Tyus Bowser, crazy high overall. Hassan Reddick, former Jag, going to the Browns. Jared Davis, former real life Lion, going back to the Lions. Really nothing super interesting there. Miles Jack, as we said, goes to the Jets. He's the big signing there. Chim Chekwa goes to the Panthers. Chris Culliver is a pretty good corner, going to the Texans. Anyone else? And the Texans also signed Grant Haley and Micah Hyde to play corner. So they revamped their corner group. Free safety, Marcus Williams. He's still very good at this point. He's 24 only. So, yeah, I mean, 2 kickers, both named Cole, going to the Cardinals. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, not shocking that some of these teams did not re-sign players, but it does actually look like in the AFC South, which I realize now I could have done this the entire time to see who was assigned to their respective teams. The Colts, with their money, re-signed Anthony Costanzo for a 1-year, $31 million contract, and also picked up Rashaan Evans' 5th-year option. The Jaguars signed Isaiah Wynn's 5th-year option, re-signed Jerick McKinnon, re-signed Steven Nelson, and re-signed Trey Jackson. The Titans re-signed Chase Roulier and Daniel Brunskill, and the Texans re-signed Gabe Karimi, Brian Cushing, Maurice, who knows his last name? Marquise, and then Matt Prater. Where did Jared Cook go? Torrey Smith, Logan Ryan, and Kareem Jackson all cut. Michael Brockers, Michael Floyd cut. What happened to Jared Cook? I thought he was 1 year left on his contract just then. Oh, well, I guess he disappeared. Is he in free agency still? I actually have no idea what happened to Jared Cook. So I'm not seeing that he retired. Very interesting. I mean, he has to be in free agency, right? Maybe he's unsigned. I guess that's the only other option, is that he's unsigned. And he is. Jared Cook's still sitting in free agency. I feel like he's still a very capable tight end for somebody Yeah, he'd be probably bottom 6 or 7 teams starting tight end. So he's gonna be unsigned for now. We'll see if he maybe signs back with the Titans or another team. But for now, let's head to the draft and see where we're looking. So,
every career starts.
all right, I hear you. All right, hopping in. Looks like most of these stay the same, kind of. Let's see who the Jaguars take. The Jaguars take Penei Sewell, who should be an amazing tackle for them for years to come. Going to the Colts pick at 13. The Colts, do they make the mistake of taking Alex Leatherwood? No, but they take Trey Lance. Wow. I don't know if they thought Trey Lance was going to fall that far to them, but he does now, and he's going to be their probably future, they'd hope. They do have Kirk Cousins, but again, he's 33 now. He hasn't really been performing all that terribly, I guess, the past couple of years, but still, this team hasn't really gotten over the hump to even get into the playoffs. So they're going to maybe let him sit under Kirk Cousins for a year or two and see how that goes. And I think that could be a good option for them if they develop him better than the Niners did in real life. Moving on to the Titans pick. They are going to take Eric Stokes. So sticking with the team, the player that they were projected to take, and the Texans take Greg Rousseau, also sticking with their projection. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll go to the end of the draft here and go from there. Love that. My cat is deciding I'm going to be very active right now while you're streaming, and I'm using a litter box. But besides the point, just going to have to deal with it. So the Jaguars took Penei Sewell, round 1. They took Najee Harris, round 2. Quinn Meinerz in the 4th round. And Noah Gray is the only other name that I really know at tight end. I know of Patty Fisher very, very briefly, but pretty decent draft there. The Texans, other than Greg Rousseau, brought in Carlos Basham Jr., Paulson Adebo, Kenneth Gainwell, and whoever Jamie Newman is, I don't know, but it's not a terrible draft by any means. Solid. Titans, other than Stokes, brings in Mac Jones. Isn't that fitting? His favorite team in real life, who controlled this team, CJ, is the 49ers. And who do they have as their starting quarterback because of Purdy being out? Mac Jones. They also got Spencer Brown, Buddy Johnson, former Steeler, Larry Roundtree, Quinton Bahana, and Rodarius Williams. I don't know who those last 2 are, or 3, but that's okay. Then to the Colts. Obviously, Trey Lance. It'll be interesting to see how he develops here. He's already starting out pretty decent, to be honest. Although he feels like the type of guy that would have been picked by Houston. But they have Lamar for now. Sam Cosmi, Benjamin St. Juste. I don't know who Ronnie Perkins is. They have Talanoa Hufanga now. So we'll see how they develop. I mean, again, you don't really know how they're going to really play out. Some of these guys are going to play out better than they did in their than in real life, you know. So we'll see. The interesting thing here is that the Jaguars did not decide to draft another middle linebacker, so they only have Kuechly. But what I was going to do is, for the sake of... Oh, wrong team. For the sake of it, I was going to move Micah Parsons, whose 93 speed is insane. Moving him to guard, or not to guard, to left outside linebacker. And I mean, he'll eventually start over Travis Feeney. He'll probably still start over Travis Feeney, let's be real. But that being said, let's go ahead to next week, and then we will go to the middle of the season to see where everyone's at. All right. It's taken longer than I remember to sim. I still have Madden 24 as a tag on here on Twitch. That's funny. I should change it to Madden 26, I guess. Anyways, so at the midseason mark, we are looking at Houston at 5-2, Indy at 3-3, Jacksonville at 2-4, along with the Titans at 2-4. Let's get our draft class. We are looking at the 2022 draft. That is... Oh, actually, I already pre-downloaded those, didn't I? So that's good. '22. So yeah, this one has Aiden Hutchinson, Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner, Thibodeau, among other players. Kenny Pickett. Oh, what a horrible draft class this was. Brock Purdy is here, though, as an undrafted guy. We'll see if he gets drafted. I'm kind of assuming not, but yeah. No, I think it is a pretty solid draft class, honestly, as well. I mean, defensively especially, I mean, there's some pretty good players here. Kyle Hamilton, Brisker's pretty solid. You got some solid guys. Corner especially. I mean, these three especially are some of the best in the league right now. There's also some other guys further down the board that are pretty good. But we'll see who gets to be drafted to the coveted AFC South that everyone wants to play for. But yeah, so we are at mid-season. Let's head to the playoffs and see how the AFC South shakes up here. Right now, it looks like the Texans are an obvious team to make the playoffs. Colts at 3-3 have a good shot. The rest of the teams, for the Titans and the Jags, we'll have to see. 2-4 is a rough start, but they could turn some things around. If I had to bet, I would say Houston, and then we'll go Indy in the 7th. And the 7th seed, I think, is possible. So here we are. And it looks like Jacksonville is not in the playoffs at 8-9. Makes sense. So what a fucking disgrace this Colts franchise has turned into. They won their first Super Bowl in season 1. They make the playoffs, the AFC divisional rounds, season 2, and then they go 2-4 or 3-3 at midseason mark, and then they collapse and go 2-9 the rest of the way. I don't know how it keeps happening, Voodoo. It's true. But you guys got Trey Lance as your future behind Kirk Cousins now, so we'll see. Tennessee doesn't do much better at 6-11. Houston even kind of fell behind. 5-2 now at 10-7. Jacksonville was the only team that really made a big step up from their record that they were at, but still not enough to get into the playoffs. Mock draft 3. Let's take a look. Colts projected to take Derek Stingley Jr. Thibodeau projected to be a Titan right now. And Trent McDuffie projected to go to Jacksonville. And Houston projected to take Logan Hall, who I'm very sure is not that great of a player. I don't even remember who he plays for. But let's check out the stats before we go anywhere else, because I'm very curious to see what the AFC South stats look like. And I passed it. So Andrew Luck still looks pretty solid. 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 picks, 75 completion percentage. But again, I mean, he can't carry this team to the Super Bowl or the playoffs by himself. Kirk Cousins, I think at this point, you could probably say he's not going to be the starter next season. Lamar Jackson, actually not that great of a year, but, you know, good enough to get the job done. And Mac Jones actually did start for the Titans. Obviously, Jake Locker, Voodoo, I think you missed that. Jake Locker left in free agency and is now a Giant. So rookie Mac Jones takes the starting job, puts up some decent yardage and touchdowns, but 20 picks is pretty bad. But honestly, not the worst I've seen from a rookie quarterback. Rushing. The rushing, I remember, was not that great in this division for a while. And, I mean, Jerick McKinnon, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Jay Ajayi, finally getting his starting job. Yeah, Mac Jones, Titans is crazy, right? Also love the Trey Lance Colts here in the future. Jay Ajayi had a really good season. Over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs for the Titans looks solid. Just under 1,000 with 10 touchdowns. And Fournette, pretty good himself, almost 1,000, 10 touchdowns. So maybe the running backs are back on the rise here with these four, with some historic running backs in this division. Mac Jones rushing for 345 yards and 3 touchdowns is crazy. Saquon getting no utilization at all, sitting there at the bottom of the depth chart. But that's because JHI is just better for some reason. He is a better player right now. Speaking of better players, Odell Beckham proceeds to be maybe the best player in football right now. Yeah, no, it's going to be a terrible showdown. The Mac Jones and Trey Lance battle. Odell's really good. Henry Ruggs, it's very fast and good. AB still with the Jags. It's very good. Still putting up really good numbers. Kenny Britt still putting up good numbers for the Titans. Even without... that's very true. OBJ is the only one selling Colts jerseys. Kenny Britt, the Titan from the beginning, pretty much at this point. Still doing his thing. Jerry Jeudy, not too bad of a second season. Tommy Streeter still putting up decent numbers at this point. Tyler Boyd, decent season. Juju's still solid. CeeDee Lamb, I forgot he was on the Titans. Had a pretty good year. Shelton Gibson, I don't know who that is, but he seems like he's doing all right. And then everyone else kind of got some involvement. Aaron Hernandez, probably his worst season yet. So he's on his way down. Hunter Henry, 666 yards. Nice. Yeah, Hernandez is falling off, and so is Ladarius Green, sadly. Only 470 yards, no touchdowns on the season. Seems like the the old tight ends of the division are falling off. Jared Cook sitting in free agency. Titans didn't re-sign him. He's just sitting there. So the big three tight ends of this division are just on their way out, sadly. Anyone really bad in blocking? Yes. Titus Howard, Austin Jackson, Ted Karras, and Forrest Lamp. I mean, especially at the guard position, giving up 10 sacks is really bad. So, Colts and Texans' O-line looks pretty rough right now. Defensively, Bobby Wagner still just so many tackles. 115 solo to 15 assists is a wild number. Bobby Wagner leading tackles by a ton. Tackles for a loss. Jerry Tillery, God, he's awful in real life, but he's good here. He had 22 tackles for a loss, 9 sacks. Key Mayer still doing his thing. 16 tackles for a loss, 11.5 sacks. Andrew Billings with 15 tackles for loss. Mitchell Lowen, 15. Joey Bosa, 13 tackles for a loss, 13.5 sacks. He's doing pretty good. Nick Bosa, I forgot, is also in this division. Same stat line with tackles for loss and sacks. That's pretty funny how that works out. And J.J. Watt still at the top of his game. 12 tackles for a loss, 18 sacks. Terrell Casey still looks very good as well. Noticing that the Jaguars just have very little production in that regard. Emmanuel Ogbah being the leading sacker there. Interceptions, nothing super crazy. Delpit, MJ Stewart, Kuechly, Edmonds, Wagner. I mean, yeah, no one really doing too much there. Same thing with the fumbles. Really not a ton going on. Only defensive touchdown was Jermaine Pratt. Kicking. Matt Prater missed 1 field goal all year. Chase McLaughlin missed 3. Dave Rayner, I don't know who that is, but he wasn't great. Missed 4 and also had a extra point block. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Then Tucker McCann. Not that great. He had 2 extra point blocks. I just saw that. That's crazy. Yeah, the Jaguars' takeaway seems to be where they're at. Sacks aren't their thing, I guess. Derek Carr leading the league in yardage. What hellhole is this universe that we were in? Deshaun Watson to continue that. 44 touchdowns, leads the league. Picks, Mac Jones ties with Brock Osweiler for the most. For the least for a starter, Terrell Pryor, another Texans reject quarterback, doing crazy things. 34 touchdowns to 2 picks is wild. Rip Dwayne Haskins. He's having a solid career. But you have to wonder, again, I mean, the Texans can pump out these good quarterbacks, right? But why aren't they keeping one of them? They're just pumping them out and throwing them now into the league and giving them really good chances at maybe beating the Texans down the line where it matters most. And Andrew Luck's completion percentage leads the league. 75 is pretty high. Jimmy G was the most sacked quarterback at 62. Least sacked starter, Josh Allen at 23 sacks. Rushing leader was Zeke, so that seems about right. Touchdowns leader was Nick Chubb. Jarvis Landry, really good season. Brandon Cooks, 112 catches. Landry with the most yards, 1,500. And 24 receiving touchdowns for Mike Evans is wild. It seems like Josh Gordon finally... Yeah, you would think that would be the right move, trading the elite QBs away, but they're just letting them lock in free agency. And speaking of another guy that was on the Texans roster and then left and found greener pastures at age 30, Josh Gordon puts up an insane season. Wild stuff. Blocking, I mean, 25 for Sean Coleman is really, really rough. CJ Mosley with most tackles. Sharif Floyd, Cam Jordan, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Tack McKinley tied for tackles for loss. 32 sacks for Khalil Mack is insane. He's going to have Defensive Player of the Year locked up this year with that. I mean, that is a wild number to have. Tyrann Mathieu, Asa Jackson, and Devin Bush. What a trio to get 6 picks. I thought that was fumbles. 12 fumbles would have been crazy. Eric Reed with a bunch of fumbles forced, but nothing else super crazy there. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some key issues with each of our teams in the AFC South here, and why they're not really making it over the hump here. Or for some teams more than others, making it back to the playoffs. The Texans have been able to find that success, but they haven't done more with it. And this is a fun story. Houston going up against Miami. This is Terrell Pryor versus Lamar Jackson, the original Texans QB, going up against the new one, the newest. And also very interesting, no RG3 led Eagles in the NFC this year. We do see Jake Walker led Giants team now in the playoffs. So let's see how far the Texans can make it. We're just going to sim straight to the Super Bowl. Let's see, do the Texans finally get to the Super Bowl? They do. Wow, okay. Sooner than I expected, but it's going to be a Houston, New Orleans Super Bowl. Now, how did they get here? Houston beats Miami by 10, 24-14. Lamar Jackson outplays Terrell Pryor, though both quarterbacks looked very good. Lamar was just better. The run game was better for Houston as well. Van Jefferson was really good. Tyreek Hill is on the Dolphins, unironically. It's crazy. Tommy Streeter still doing his thing. Nothing, I mean, JJ doing his thing with the sack there, but that brought them to the divisional, and they shut out the Bills 27-0. Lamar did what he had to do. Was really solid. Jimmy G was bad. J.J. again did what he had to do. Nothing crazy. Their defense did all the work here. I mean, Preston Brown 15 tackles is a lot in a game. J.J. Watt with 2 sacks. Whitney Merciless, former Texan, fallen to his former team. Brian Cushing with a sack. Vita Vea with a sack. And Desmond Trufant with the pick. And then Houston wins by 3 in a comeback victory over the Steelers, who have seemed to be a very powerful team in this franchise. And they come back, put up 11 points in the fourth quarter to win it. And Lamar Jackson versus Pat Mahomes, we can't escape it. Lamar was actually really bad this game. Mahomes wasn't great either. But where it really mattered was the run game. J.J. was great. Steelers just didn't have the run game to match with James White. And that's really where it came down to. Both defenses really did a solid job. Just keeping the score low. Unfortunate that we couldn't see the Giants with Jake Walker in the Super Bowl. That would have been fun. But we do see 2 4 seeds, which I feel like I don't know if I don't want to say it's never happened, but I don't know. That's a pretty interesting one. We're going to be seeing the Carson Wentz-led Saints, who had an incredible game against the Seahawks to get them here. With Cam Akers as running back 1. Damn, Allen Robinson tried his best. They do have Justin Jefferson. They've got Jimmy Graham still around as a Saint. Curtis Samuel, Laquan Treadwell. What in the world is this Vikings team doing? Literally, isn't it interesting Yeah, no, that is interesting. With they did use both Ajayi and Barkley pretty consistently. That was a big deal. But look at this team. This is a weird mix. You got a bunch of guys that played for the Vikings at some point in their career, other than Jimmy Graham and Curtis Samuel, Justin Jefferson, Laquan Treadwell, Cam Akers, and Carson Wentz, all in real life were a Viking, which is interesting. They do have Marquise Pouncey as well, pretty good center for them, and I mean defensively they have T.J. Watt. We have the Watt Bowl coming up. They also have Chandler Jones. That's going to be a tough duo to play against. And they also have Kenny Clark. That's a tough D line. Keanu Neal, user legend. That's yeah. The Saints could not beat the Vikings in the playoffs, so they took their players. It's so real. They also needed Corn Elder, and I know Zaven Rollins, whatever Collins. He's I think he's defensive rookie of the year. So it'll be very interesting to see the Super Bowl here. But at the moment, let's take a look at the awards. Marcus Mariota with the Cardinals wins MVP. Wow. You do still see RG3 at 3 here, which is interesting considering his team didn't make the playoffs. Also, Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor's here as well. So you kind of have to question, again, no Lamar Jackson here. Was it the right decision to let RG3 walk? I don't know. But they're in the Super Bowl, so maybe it was. We'll see. Coach of the Year goes to the Seahawks coach. And we had none of ours in there. Fair enough. And Mike Evans, with his 24 receiving touchdowns, gets Offensive Player of the Year for the Blues, who are the Bengals. Anyone in our division? Well, there's Terrell Pryor, not in our division, but Jay Ajayi with 8th place in that. Defensive Player of the Year goes to J.J. Watt. He is just lucky that Khalil Mack plays in the NFC because, man, I mean, J.J. Watt had a great season, but Khalil Mack's 32 sacks is crazy. Akeem Ayers, 3rd, still kicking. Joey Bosa up here. Same thing with Nick Bosa. So that's pretty cool to see. Travis Etienne with the Raiders, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Mac Jones just misses that award. So, I mean, maybe that's a sign for things to come that he's going to be the future for the team, but we'll have to see. Najee Harris at 3, who was our 2nd round pick for the Jags. Noah Gray, who is a just like 6th round tight ends, is in here. Larry Roundtree, sure. And also Ben Mason, our fullback, sure. Christian Barmore, who is a Patriot in real life, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. We also get, that's it. No one else is really important in our division. Terrell Pryor wins Best QB. Again, that question is going to really loom, especially on the outcome of the Super Bowl, is if Lamar can't get it done here, maybe he wasn't the right pick. Maybe he shouldn't have been the guy that they decided to go with, and they should have kept RG3. Or, even further back, kept Terrell Pryor. But we'll see. We do have Luck in here. That's it. Best RB, Todd Gurley. Texans, Jay Jai is here. Josh Jacobs also here. But Mike Evans, best receiver. AB, Antonio Brown, still here at 6th. O line goes to Ali Marpet. We've got Lester Cotton, sure, he's at 6 for the Colts, and Cesar Ruiz for the Texans is there at 9. JJ wins best D lineman for the Texans. Joey Bosa at 3, Nick Bosa at 4, and Jarrell Casey at 10. Best linebacker goes to Akeem Ayers. Duke Riley at 5. And Rashawn Evans at 10. Austin Jackson at 1 for the best DB for the Blues. Oh, Olakun is a safety in this league at this point. I guess that's fair. And we have none in our division. Best kicker, Blair Walsh. Oh, man. Yeesh. Texans, Matt Prater, number 2. And Tucker McCann at 6. Chase McLaughlin at 7. And Dave Rayner at 10. So that is the awards there. So, very interesting. So we'll have to see with this Super Bowl how that's gonna go here.